Welcome back to another exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV. I'm your host, Gary Malefsky, and the publisher of Cyber Defense Magazine. Sitting in my hot seat today is an incredible special guest, a rare appearance, General John Batiste. He started a company called Buffalo Armory. You can go there at buffaloarmory.com, the CEO and the founder. We love to talk cybersecurity, but we also love to talk physical security. This is a rare opportunity. General, welcome.
Thank you, Gary. It's good to be here.
So I love Tesla. I love the whole history, electricity, high energy. Everyone's talking about 5G. But when we talk about electricity, we never think about physical security. You've taken something really cool with electricity you're going to tell us about that's patented, and you've created a physical security solution.
We have. This all started back in the Army when I served for 31 years in Iraq in 2003 and 4 as a commanding general of the 1st Infantry Division. One of the things that we dealt with was that the body armor that we wore, the ESAPI plates made out of ceramic, tended to crack. And they would get these micro fractures in them and you couldn't even see them. So soldiers were going into harm's way without knowing that their armor was faulty. Their body armor was faulty. So we would, on a periodic basis, x-ray every plate to see what was good and what was bad. And it wasn't atypical to find 20% of the lot was no good. So one of my passions when I left the Army was to find a better way to heat treat steel to make it into an armor that was durable and wouldn't crack.
Like Iron Man's armor?
Yeah.
So you're heat treating steel, but the traditional heat treating methods aren't good enough, are they?
They're fine, but we're better. We're better. So I joined the steel industry in 2006. And along the way, we settled on induction technology as a better way to heat treat steel.
What does that mean? Is that electricity?
It's electricity. It's using electricity with the induction technology. In a nutshell, it's ramping up lots of electricity to create a magnetic field, which creates heat very, very quickly. So within seconds, we're heat treating steel, changing the microstructure into a very hard ductile steel that makes a great armor.
So it ultimately realigns the molecules of the steel in such a way that it's much harder than any traditional method.
It is.
So this is thin and easy to deploy for body armor?
It's thin, easy to deploy. In our case, our markets today are focused on first responders, body armor, door panels in police cars, applications like that. The ultimate goal is to improve the technology so that we're providing armor for armored vehicles for the Department of Defense on a much larger scale.
Could this be used to make lightweight other materials? Just curious, like aluminum, maybe used in the Air Force. Could jets be hardened?
Not with this technology, no.
But this has to be
so
steel.
We're focused on carbon steel.
Which would mean from body armor to doors to maybe even tanks?
Ultimately, that's right. Thicker armor that can be applied to the larger combat vehicles in the Department of Defense.
What about what you're doing for schools? We've had so many horrible incidents with schools. You have some new technology to protect our kids.
So we took our technology that's now fantastic for body armor plates and door panels for police cars and asked ourselves the question, what can we do as a ballistic solutions company to solve the problem in classrooms? Our kids go to school and they're worried. Our teachers, our parents, what we provide is effectively peace of mind. With a new idea that is a barrier on the inside of a classroom door. It doesn't replace the door, but in a crisis, when there's an active shooter event, the teacher can simply close the door with one motion and create a safe room to protect the kids.
Does it make the whole door bulletproof, or is it more to just keep the environment closed, sealed, and safe from someone trying to bust in and, do a mass shooting?
Both.
Absolutely
both. It stops anybody from breaking into the room. From the hallway, they just see the normal classroom door. Behind it is the barrier. You're not going to bust in, and if you choose to shoot at it, the rifle bullets are going to ricochet right back at you.
That's awesome. Now, one of the problems in sales to governments and cities and towns is all these blankets we have to get on. having served our military honorably for so many years, you probably understand what I'm talking about. Did you have to get on state and federal blankets? How do we get this product sold quickly into schools?
It's a great question, Gary, and it depends on the state. It depends on the community. Everybody's a little bit different. But that's one of the things we do, helping school districts, PTAs, figure out how to get the grant. Where's the money to fund this improvement?
I think as a parent, we all would say anybody can afford a solution to protect our kids in our schools. If it's not in the budget today, it should be in the budget tomorrow.
You got to think about it now. You got to prepare for the future. And a lot of schools are. They're doing a lot of things. And that protection for a classroom starts way outside the classroom. It involves federal, state, local police, fire departments. It comes into the school, but ultimately in the classroom, this ballistic barrier solution allows the teacher, with one motion again, to create a safe room. So if everything else goes wrong, and if the active shooter gets into the school, despite best efforts, the teacher can take steps immediately in that moment to provide peace of mind for herself, himself, the students, and their parents.
And they can learn more about this solution at buffaloarmory.com.
buffaloarmory.com.
Great. I have one more question for you. How thin can you make that steel?
Right now we're at about 5 millimeters thick, and we're working to get thinner.
5 millimeters will stop a bullet?
Will stop a high-velocity rifle bullet, yes.
That is incredible technology. It's patented?
It is. We have 8 granted patents and working on more.
This is American innovation at its best.
It is.
Okay, I'm going to ask one more question.
Go for it.
There aren't many steel companies left in America. We've got U.S. Steel, AK Steel in Akron, Ohio. I mean, who's doing this? Are you working with these steel guys? Are they turning up the heat again?
There's actually a pretty vibrant steel industry in America still, and it's growing. So it's steel mills that do the melting, and it's steel service centers that distribute it and cut the steel.
This is phenomenal. I don't know what else to say other than thank you for a great interview. We always talk about hardening the network or hardening the physical infrastructure from being exploited, but I've never had a chance to talk to someone who's physically solved the problem with steel. This is amazing.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks for the interview. And folks, come back next time after you visit buffaloarmory.com to Cyber Defense TV for another exciting interview. Thank you so much.